Donner here for Liberty Nation, and with me today is Laura Volkovic. Laura has written an article about abuse going on in charities, including the UN, and I thought this was worth discussing a little bit. Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Lisa.
Well, you talk a little bit about Oxfam, and then you go into the UN. Can you describe for our audience exactly what you found in your research?
The scandal at Oxfam has just come out. But from what we're hearing, the problem appears to be much more widespread, covering not just major charities, but also the UN. So the charges range from engaging prostitutes in countries where this is illegal, such as Haiti, but it's also to do with whether the prostitutes were underage is not very clear, and there's also a practice going on known as survival sex, where staff are withholding supplies such as food, water, or medicine, and pressuring locals to have sex with those controlling the supply. Only a few of the allegations have been proven so far, but more and more accusations are coming in. In fact, Priti Patel, a former minister in the UK government, says that there's a culture of denial about this kind of exploitation and that it's been taking place for decades.
Well, this is kind of an explosive version of the Me Too campaign, and it seems particularly insidious when it's involving people who are in need.
Exactly.
Now,
yes.
All right, Laura. So I'm sort of wondering what part the U.S. has to play in all this, since we spend so much money with the United Nations.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. is a huge contributor to the UN. I think you contribute about 20% of the UN's budget, although under Trump this may be coming down. But yeah, this problem goes back to 1999, when a whistleblower called Catherine Bolkovac was trying to expose trafficking and abuse in the UN and was fired for trying to expose it. Since then, there's been over 2,000 recorded complaints of sexual abuse, and at least 15% of these involve children. Obviously, with many countries contributing to the UN, the offenders come from all over the world, but I'm sure US citizens wouldn't want their taxpayer dollars to go to that possible abuse.
Now, are you saying that some of these investigations are for show, or are they really ongoing?
Well, the new Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, has put in place more procedures for dealing with this problem. However, there's a charity that's been set up purely to investigate the UN's sexual abuse allegations. And according to them, they're very skeptical about these new procedures. According to Code Blue, only a fraction of investigations have actually even interviewed the victims. So it does still look like there's a lot of cover-ups going on. And the problem isn't just at the higher levels. Obviously, a few people at the top don't know everything that's going on within the organization. A lot of the time it's to do with managers on the ground who don't report known abuse to their senior officers. The UN has had 20 years to do something about this, but instead they've ignored it and covered it up again and again. So I think those following the situation will need a bit more proof than just words before they start to trust the organization in these matters.
So, Laura, to wrap this up, how does this affect regular Americans?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, the US spends a lot of money on the UN, and this does affect the American taxpayer. So I think if voters thought that their tax dollars were being used to traffic humans and sexually abuse children, they probably wouldn't be happy about this. So I guess we'll see what President Trump does regarding UN funding.
Indeed, thank you for giving more exposure to this. This is a very troubling situation when you're trafficking in sexual favors and prostitution with people who are depending on your charitable activities. Thank you, Laura. Read her fine article on libertynation.com. Don't forget to download our app, LNTV, and commentary on Google Play Stores and iTunes Play Stores. Thank you very much for watching today. I'm Lisa Donner, and this is LNTV.